name's Bambo.
What? Say it again, I like that first one.
Yeah, Bambo, simply called Larry because of the problem of pronunciation.
Yeah.
From the name, I'm from Nigeria, and I'm a student. I've just graduated from the university here in Amsterdam.
What did you study?
I studied international business management.
Okay.
And I'm a graduate from Nigeria also, on the science level. Presently, I'm trying to float a business, which is here in the Netherlands. But I have a business. I have a business in Nigeria. But because of you are living in diaspora, so it is not easy to control. But now I'm trying to float something, and
okay,
that is it.
That's fine. What sort of business are you intending to float?
In logistic business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I guess we're going to have a good blend, you know, from somebody who's aspiring to somebody who's already established and experienced. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen out there. We welcome you to be a part of this discussion. Give us a call on the studio line 020-737-1619. Now, I would like to ask you, gentlemen, to share with our listeners your principal motivation for wanting to create wealth as a migrant. I believe the reason why most of us, I would say, travel outside is to have a better life, to seek of better opportunities, as it were. I mean, just like we come here, there are also people of this country who go to Africa and other parts of the world. Everybody's in search of something. So, what would you say has been your motivation for traveling outside, to seek a better life or to create wealth? Let's start with Alex.
In my case, traveling abroad was just going to extend my horizon. After studying in Lagos, I worked in the bank briefly, and I wanted to experience other culture, other countries, to see how things are done.
Yeah.
So I ended up in London. I studied banking. I graduated in banking, and went back to Nigeria. And what I saw there, I really wasn't comfortable with it. So I went back to London and I took up a job with Lloyds Bank. I worked briefly for Lloyds Bank, and then I met my present wife in London, and then somehow I just decided to stay. And since then, I've actually lived in both countries, Europe and Nigeria. So I feel at home.
Okay. Now, so the question was, what was your motivation for starting a business?
My motivation is really, I think in London I didn't actually have a business. I was working for a multinational in London until when I arrived in Amsterdam. And I found that the language they speak here, it's quite different from what they speak in London. So I had to go to language school, and after that I found it very, very difficult to get a job. The first job I applied for, I couldn't believe what the woman was telling me.
What did she say? Curious.
She said, because you don't speak the language, I think you should go and apply for a cleaning post. And I said to her, I've actually worked in a multinational company in London. How can I apply for a cleaning post? And she said, well, that's the only job we can offer you. So I said, well, if that's the only job you can offer me, then I wouldn't take it. I'd rather create a job of my own.
Yes.
And that was, for me, a challenge that actually led me to create my own business.
Awesome.
Wow. Well, I had it too. I was told also. No. I wasn't told good at cleaning job, but I was. Many times I was confronted with the language. So you don't speak the language, you know. They do come up. We do come up against this, and these are issues that we get confronted with as migrants in the diaspora, especially if you are in a country that doesn't speak your, let's say,
English.
Your, language you were raised up with, or your mother tongue, or what have you.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Bambo, Would you tell us your motivation for coming abroad and for wanting to, discover the world, if I may put it that way?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Go close to the microphone, please.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like I said, I am a scientist from Nigeria.
What did you study?
I did animal heart, animal medicine.
Veterinary medicine.
Veterinary medicine. But in Nigeria, if you graduated from a university, you don't have a godfatherism, so you bent up, strolling all over the state and looking for jobs and this kind of a thing. In the 90s, I was managing an hotel in Nigerian Republic of Benin border, and I found out that when we are preparing for an annual summit for a company, and we went to border town to buy some certain materials for the preparation of the annual meeting. Then I saw one milk they call a crystalline milk, and I bought it. Then they call it Hollandaise or so, very very good. So when I brought it, I said, where is this product from? They said it's from Holland. Holland. Where's Holland? They said Netherlands. I said, I want to be there.
You want to be there?
I said, I want to be there. Because as a person, from my juvenile, I'm an Ijebu man. And an Ijebu, they are very enterprising when it comes to entrepreneurship for you to be able to be your boss by yourself. You don't want to work under nobody.
Yeah.
So I have that inclination for our fathers and we have been in it for years, and I know the dividends of it. So I said, okay, because I'm a scientist, I said, if I come to Netherlands, I should be able to work in a farm. I want to work in a farm so that I can come down to Nigeria, get some money, and come down to Nigeria to establish such outfit, so that I can create job opportunity for people, and also get myself with abundance of wealth, and for me to be able to solve the problem of poverty in Africa. And that is my aim and my vision of coming to
Holland.
Netherlands.
Wow, I like that. It's a good motivation. Well, Alex, you spoke about the obstacles which confronted you in the beginning when you tried to get a job. You're confronted with the language skills.
Yeah.
So that's what motivated you to get started with the business.
Yes. Primarily it is. It is what motivated me, and the fact that I was being challenged, that what I could do is cleaning, which for me I see it as an insult.
Yes.
For my experience and for what I've gone through in life.
Yes.
For someone to tell me to my face that the only job you can pick up now is cleaning job. And then I wanted to prove that I'm better than that. So I went up there and learned the language that they said I couldn't speak, and speak it very well. And I said, well, I think I'm going to create my own job and also help my people who may actually be in a similar situation to get out of their comfort zone. Because for me, language is all about the environment where you find yourself.
Yeah.
It's nice to speak the language, but it shouldn't be a barrier to achieving what you want to achieve in life. At the end of the day, I found running a business actually fits into my profile.
Okay.
So I decided to go for that instead of reapplying for other jobs.
Now, your business, Excella, is it Excella?
Zella.
Zella.
Zella
Enterprises.
Yeah.
What do you do? Tell us, what is that business?
Zella Enterprises actually started life sometime in 1996.
Okay.
I was the first person in Amsterdam to actually own a fully operational Nigerian restaurant.
Wow.
And that was in Albert Cow. And again, my life is always about being challenged. And I found that there was no place where Africans could go to and have a decent meal.
Yeah.
And the time we're talking about, there were not very many Africans actually. Most of them actually based in the Belma. But being somebody who is, I see myself as more world-oriented, I didn't want to sort of cite the restaurant in the Belma. I decided to put it in Albert Cow, which is in central Amsterdam, excuse me, so that other people can actually see, see and come in and enjoy the atmosphere. So that's how it started, and from there on, I am a Dutch person. I'm always running into Dutch people who keep challenging me. Then asked if they can have an African beer in the restaurant.
Oh, so the restaurant was serving African dishes?
Yes, we were serving
Okay,
African.
and so you had some Dutch people coming in
Yes,
to patronize?
yes,
And they wanted to taste African beer?
yeah,
Okay.
of which we didn't have.
Yeah.
So I went to Lagos, I went to Nigerian breweries, and I told them about this enterprise. And they said, well, if you want to take up a distributorship on our behalf, we will give it to you. But how you said it is your business. I said, there's no problem. Since I have the outlet, selling it wouldn't be my problem. It's just getting it officially because I didn't want to get it through the back door.
Yeah.
So I was given the distributorship first for Amsterdam. In our first year we did so well that I was given the distributorship for the whole of Benelux.
So how much were you selling in terms of the volume of the drinks?
When we talk volume wise,
At that time, for them to decide to give you for the whole, the distributorship for the whole of Benelux.
okay, before they gave me the Benelux distributorship, in our first year of operation, we sold in hectoliter terms, we sold 3,000 hectoliters, which in terms of people listening out there, what it means, that translates into 12 container loads of beer. And
That's a lot.
that's a lot. That's a lot of beer.
So you all, were you doing all that through your restaurant, or you are distributed to other retailers?
We were distributing it to other retailers all over Amsterdam.
Really? Which brand of beer are you talking about?
Star and Gouda.
Oh, Star and Gouda.
Yes. We were distributing it all the way to Rotterdam, Utrecht, Tilburg, and we were also taking part in festivals. So that helped the sales as well. And then on our first year, the Nigerian brewers were so impressed with what we did without any market support.
Yes.
That they decided to give me the distributorship for the whole of Benelux.
So you are still the incumbent, what do you call it, authorized
Oh yes, yes.
sole distributor.
Yes, I am actually, because I'm a very laid-back person. I really, for me, wealth. This is about wealth creation. Throughout the Kwaku festivals, when Kwaku festivals was going on, all the star beer in Kwaku festival actually came through me.
Okay.
Everybody who saw star beer in Kwaku festival, right from the time Kwaku festival became known, came through me. Anybody who went to Tilburg Festival Mundial, the Star and Gouda there, I was responsible for it. And I think the highlight or the crowning of our achievement was when Femi Kuti came to play sometime in Amsterdam Paradiso and Milkwork, we actually supply the beer there. And we made a very good advert. We said, twinkle, twinkle, little star, catch a star today at Milkwork. And that actually caught the attention of the Dutch people. So, so through that, I was able to employ quite a number of Nigerians in the restaurant and also in the distribution business.
Would you say that fortune was by sheer luck, or just that you did something special to get this opportunity?
I wouldn't say it's special. I would just say, for me, it's been at the right place at the right time, and also having a good motivation to do something when challenged. And the challenge led me to create those things. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed what I was doing. First of all, you have to enjoy what you're doing, even if you're challenged. If you don't enjoy it, then you probably wouldn't succeed. But through the challenge, enjoy what I do, and hard work, I was able to sort of satisfy a need for people who are actually looking for something different.
Do you still have the restaurant in Albert?
Unfortunately, no. I've closed it because by the time I was running the restaurant, I was also running the distribution business. And being a young man that I was at that time, it was just too tough to run two businesses at the same time. And then after 2.5 years, I had to close the restaurant to concentrate fully on distributing the beer, because the beer was actually
doing well.
It was doing well. And I was looking for people whom I can sort of trust that can come in partnership with me to run this business together. But it's very, very, very difficult out there to find someone who is willing to sacrifice the time it takes to run it, because running a restaurant is not easy. You've got to have a feel and the heart for it. It's a 24 hours job.
Yes. Okay, let's turn to Mr. Bambo. Well, you've heard the story of your co-panelists.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic. Now, you have a future ahead of you. There are things you want to do. What motivates you or encourages you about what he has said, and do you foresee any obstacles you're likely to face as a let me call it a fresh migrant, if you permit me to use that expression, fresh migrant in the diaspora, trying to find your feet and trying to establish your dreams? Do you foresee, or do you really sense what might be some of the likely challenges you're going to face in order to find your feet?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I would like to, Mr. Alex Jebose, seeing him today as a co-debater is somebody that I respect in this society, and we work hand in hand together. It's somehow very how can I say? I don't expect to see it in this place, but because
Well, as Voice of Naija will always connect the best.
The best. That's what we
It
bring.
just happened to be fortunate.
Yes,
to be,
exactly.
Oh yes, he's an experienced somebody, and we look up to him in the society, and as a Nigeria. So, as for me, most of my doing, or maybe entrepreneurship, something mostly from domestic in Nigeria before coming down here. I have involved in confectionaries, trying to create job like confectionery industry, bread, and also in farm input, like distributing some medicine to farmer that is not within the vicinity in the Lagos interior farmers, prescribing them some drugs for them to be able to have a boost in their production, like in the in the chicken and animals.
Yes.
So, and that is my entrepreneurship aspect, but I have worked in many fields in Nigeria, work in as a sales representative for Nigerian Brewery in Lagos, then posted to eastern part, and I work as an hotelier in an hospitality company, also as a manager. And coming down here is a different experience because, like I said, I have a science background from Nigeria, and coming down here is a different thing entirely. And if I should tell you that up to this moment, my motive aim of trying to to work in a farm has not been realized, because the ways of operating farming in Nigeria is is very different from the way they are operating here.
So you are saying that your ambition, your drive, and what you're trying to achieve from the beginning has been kind of shifted, diverted.
Yeah.
Since you came abroad.
Yes, it has been redirected. Redirected, and I see my going back to the university to study international business management is for me to combine my experience as an as a farming or maybe agroeconomist to to combine it, so that you can be to combine the two, so that you can be of agro marketing. So and like I said, I have some premonition of I've established. So I have some contact on agricultural importation or exportation back to Nigeria. I have some white guys that we are discussing.
Okay, yeah, hold it right. Let me just cut. Mr. Jebose, you're listening.
Wealth creation.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Yes, go ahead. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Good question. All right. Did you hear the question?
Yeah, what the question, please?
Oh, you came here to study how to farm. No, he said, is it not possible for you to use the knowledge of farming here, the ways of doing it here? Is it not possible for you to learn here and then apply it back in Nigeria, as opposed to maybe redirecting your focus altogether to something else?
Yeah, the point is that I, as a person, I'm very knowledgeable in farming, right from Nigeria. But my purpose is to come here to be able to to upgrade the standard. Yeah. And and they said that like here in Netherlands, we don't know that there's a linguistic barrier. So when I came in, I said I want to go for anything. Anything like farming or maybe agriculture to be able to realize my ambition. But coming, I found out that it's difficult, and there's an adage that says if you are informed, you will not be deformed. But I don't see it as that way. I said, okay, if that should be the case, let me go for something that I can be able to express myself. That's why I go for international school. And I see that, okay, it's an opportunity for me to be able to, to combine the two together, and trying to, to form an implementation process of helping the people in back home.
All right. Let me get on to Mr. Alex. Yeah. You're experienced in the sense that you have been around for a while. You have seen some of these things or heard some of these things.
Yeah.
Now, what would you share with Larry, but also with our listeners out there, people who perhaps have gotten trapped in one or the other, they had a certain drive, a certain ambition, a certain plan
Yeah.
to do something. But on coming here, they realized that things are not the way they had expected it. Now you said you wanted a job, but then you were denied, so you decided to, start your own business.
Yeah.
Now, can you give an advice or a recommendation, or maybe just speak from your heart on, okay, some of these things and how somebody can safely go about this without losing track? Because this has been the story of many people. And I think it's not necessarily bad, but it can derail most people for totally off the course they would have pursued. And some people truly lose it. I mean, they end up in worse situation, so to speak.
First of all, you must have self-confidence in yourself. You must believe in yourself. Self-belief is very important. No matter where you find yourself, you have to have that self-belief that I am better than who I am. And you must have a goal and a focus.
Yeah.
Once you combine those two together, you will be able to find somewhere, somehow, to either help yourself or train yourself or retrain yourself, like Mr. Larry.
Let me, you began as a banker, and you wanted actually to pursue that line, that career, so to speak.
Yeah.
What did you, when you decided to start your own business, to start a restaurant, how did that make you feel? I mean, what kind of mind shift did you have to want to do that as opposed to your banking career you were coming from? I mean, how did you do that adjustment in order to accommodate the direction in which you are right now?
I think in my own case, mostly because I'm very outgoing, and banking is a sort of conservative work, whereby you're sitting behind the desk for a long time and you don't really get to see the world. So I think my shift was quite natural. Being out there, marketing, interacting with people come easy to me. So shifting to a kind of job creation whereby I have the opportunity of meeting different people from different walks of life was just an added bonus of an extension of who I am. So that helped me a bit. I think if I didn't have that, I would have had a little bit of problem switching careers from a banker into somebody, into an entrepreneur. If I hear what Larry is saying, he is trained as a veterinary. He's been in a farm, and now he's gone on to learn international business management, which I think if he combines the two, it will actually put him in a better footing to help create more wealth, because from what I'm reading and seeing in the world, food shortages is going to play a huge role in the coming years. And then you have somebody who can actually run a production and also know how to sell those products in the marketplace by having international market the knowledge will actually propel him further than he himself will realize. Whether he will realize that dream here in Holland, it's a little bit questionable. The reason being, Holland, as small as it is, the world leading agricultural production country in the whole world. If you think about anything agriculture, they're there. And if anyone wants to really learn agriculture, I think this is the place to be. Animal husbandry, vegetable production, greenhouse production, flower production, you just name it, because the country is somehow blessed in terms of resources and the technology and the skills. So for those who are actually looking to be in that line of business, I think this is the place to be. But having said that, it will be very, very difficult to get into the farming side of things here, because their farming is more or less, I wouldn't say protected as such, but it is well managed. So I would translate those kind of skills that I have to emerging countries in Africa. It doesn't necessarily have to be Nigeria. It could be any African country.
Yes.
Because shortage of food is not only peculiar to Nigeria, it is peculiar to all over the world.
Yeah.
And don't even be surprised that some of the things you produce in Nigeria can actually be re-exported back to Europe.
Well, Larry, you have heard, I think you just gotten some encouragement, or shall I say a good perspective on the situation that perhaps you're dealing with right now. I think if you rethink and reevaluate things very well, you might find yourself in a very, in a very good spot. Combining your background with the business skills that you have acquired so far. So I think you're in the right game. Well, listeners, you're welcome to give us a call, reaction on this program. We're talking about wealth creation, how migrants who are in diaspora can create wealth for themselves. We are often confronted with real challenges. Sometimes you have to change your mind, change your career direction and all that. But in the face of all that, we are supposed to succeed, and that's why we're talking about how this can be done in the face of all the things that we come up against as we live in the diaspora. Now, I would like to ask you two gentlemen, have you got any inspirers, people who inspire you in life, to be in business the way you are doing? Are there people you can think about who have been a source of inspiration and encouragement to you? You want to be like them, or you want to say like them in business? Yes, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I think in my own case, it would be, if someone stands out for me, it would be Richard Branson.
He's my idol too. He's
Richard
very
Branson,
inspiring guy.
Who founded the Virgin Group while still in the university. So he went on to sort of branch into all sorts of businesses. So, and I get to read up all these business journals and listen to what they say and go to seminars to enrich myself. So I think you're one of those who inspire me to say, look, you don't necessarily have to stick with what you know.
Yeah.
You can actually branch out and cover all other areas.
Yes. Yeah. Larry, you want to add to what I said?
Yes, in my own perspective, I think I look up to my father, because he's a very enterprising and articulate entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And internationally, I look up to Donald Trump. He's a great man, and is somebody that is inspired most of the people to be a boss of his own business, and also in terms of intermarketing and mass marketing. So he's a giant person. So I look up to that, to him as somebody that is as a role model, because as an entrepreneur, and also understand the international marketing, how to combine the tools together. So which I am into. So it's somebody that I look up to.
Thank you very much. One point I'd like to get back to is your shift from the banking career to becoming a businessman, a self-employed businessman. Would you encourage or advise all migrants in diaspora? Because most of the time, when we come abroad, what we tend to discover is less than half of the truth of what we knew before we traveled. We have a culture shock, we have a business shock, we have educational shock, we have a language shock, all the shock we get, all the different angles.
Yeah.
So we take some time to readjust to the reality. And by the time you have really adjusted, you have found out that you are far away from the dreams you had. and now you have to redefine yourself and redefine what you want to do and all that. Do you agree with me, gentlemen?
Yeah.
So in the face of all that, I don't know what we can share with our friends and compatriots and what have you, in diaspora, about how to really be able to succeed and maybe not necessarily follow your own career in the face of all the shocks that you can get when you move abroad. Because our goal primarily is to have a better life, right? To create wealth, etc., etc. What can we bring out from what we have learned so far and share with others so that we all can understand, okay, we are all in the same game, we are swimming in the same pool. Whatever I'm feeling, somebody also has felt it or is still feeling it. But in spite of it all, we can still succeed. What can we derive from all that we know now and all the others have experienced and use as an inspiring mechanism for the rest of us?
I would say, first of all, self-belief is very, very important. You have to be self-conscious of who you are and what you want to achieve in life. The fact that you find yourself here and the language is different, everything is different, it shouldn't be a barrier to what you really want to achieve. I mean, you're running a radio show here. I don't think when you came into this country that you were going to be running a radio show, but you find yourself.
I never dreamt of it.
but you are not running a radio show. So entrepreneurship, I would say, is not actually set aside for everybody. Not every diaspora or everybody out there will succeed in business. Some people will try, but lack of confidence, lack of knowledge of business can be a barrier also in them succeeding. So you can actually, first of all, look inwards, see what you can do within yourself, see what your capabilities are.
Now, if I may just, if we talk about wealth creation, it could be as an entrepreneur, it could also be some other way.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. For me, wealth creation is not really about setting up a business as such. It's about even you can actually get employment there because the world is changing. Amsterdam and Holland is changed so much from the time I was here. There are so many multinational companies operating all over the world now. Internet has made communication easier. So really, people are setting up all sorts of companies, and people are offering all sorts of employees who have different skills. It could be marketing skills that you do over the telephone.
Yeah.
It could be selling skills that you can do over the internet. So really, times are changing. So one should be able to be flexible enough to move with the times, and not really look at the language as a barrier. For me, the language issue will always be a barrier, as long as you live in Holland. In terms of getting the job that you think you should be doing. But having said that, if you find yourself that you're an entrepreneur, you should go for it.
Okay. Well, I would like us to take a short break here, and then we'll continue. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call in the studio 020-737-1619 with Mr. Alex Jebose and Mr. Larry Bambo. Welcome back, gentlemen. Yes, welcome back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, you see, I have the image of, let's say, people living like this country or another part of the world and going to Africa to invest, create jobs for people, and that is fine, you know. Sometimes we get the impression that, okay, those from the advanced countries, they have more access to resources, that's possibly true, and that's why they're able to create things, create jobs, and create wealth in another country. We know in Africa, we have the growth rate of our economies are quite high compared to the growth rate over here. We have higher growth rates, so the possibilities of creating wealth is much higher. There's in Africa, in the developing countries for that matter. Now, would you say that to create wealth in the diaspora, where we are now, we need a lot of money to be able to do that?
Yes, can I
go ahead.
Yeah.
From my own perspective, I think wealth creation is something that is alleviating poverty, alleviation of vicious cycles of poverty, which involve like in the cycle is all about low income, low capital. As a result of if there's low capital, then it leads to low investment, low production, which automatically can come back to poverty. And we know in the country where we come from, Nigeria, there's a lot of such a thing. And being a capitalist nation, so the urge of individuals or group to be able to amass wealth is there. Contrary to the state where we are living, that is the Europe, where their systems emphatically different from where we come from. They are operating a socialist and socialist type of government where the people don't see creation of wealth creation as something that is very important, because they have most of the things at their disposal. So that is my own aspect, because as we, that is immigrant here in diaspora, it is I think it is very difficult for somebody to create wealth here, but it is very much easier for the immigrants to create it over there in Africa.
And why is that?
Yeah, because most of the things are controlled. Yeah. And it is not most of them are controlled. It is either no or yes, it depending on the kind of people. What you intend to do, and if you have the entrepreneurship skill, and then you'll be able to know how to go about things. No, because most of the things here are controlled and strategically controlled. Yeah. But yes, because as if you have the entrepreneurship skill, and you have the urge not to serve nobody, you want to be a boss on yourself. So you need to balance the two scenario. And I think for you to succeed in a business, you have to be very prudent, which are prudent in terms of prudent and your accountability, and also you have to have some legal advice from this society where you are living, and also you have to be very you have to put your hair to the ground by getting some information, because there's an adage that says if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. All right.
Well, so, thank you very much. I'll let Mr. Alex just throw in your lot for the next 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah,
in response to what he said.
No, for me, wealth creation will always involve looking for capital to actually start a business, which is just the fundamentals of it, and also having a little bit of educational background should help you in tapping into those resources. Yeah. Right here in Europe, I think, or in Holland, there are various organizations that exist that actually help small businesses in raising funds in the past, but it's a little bit difficult now because of the economic situation. But having said that, if one of the things I see mostly affecting the migrants is if we could sort of harness our knowledge and wealth creation, because some of I see it this way: some people have some funds and they don't actually have the business enterprise skills to actually make something of that. If we can have a situation whereby those who have the funds and those who are looking for the funds to come together and form a sort of partnership in creating a job or an enterprise, it will actually help create wealth within the migrant society in Holland without actually looking at the mainstream sector source of raising funds. That's one, and it is one of those things that we have not actually made use of properly, simply because we all cannot be bosses. As long as we have those notions that I want to be a boss, going into a business, it's simply not because you want to be a boss. What kind of boss do you want to be if you are a boss? If you're given the opportunity to be a boss, what kind of boss will you be? Will you be a boss that is looking forward to actually create more wealth, or just saying I want to be called a boss? So we must be able to distinguish the reason why you want to.
Our motive, for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry we have to cut the discussion at this point. I want to thank you so very much for your time, for being here. We hope that it's been fruitful, and hopefully we'll have the chance to get back to tackle this topic. Thank you very much, Mr. Ale Jebose, and also Mr. Larry Bambo, for your time. God bless you so very richly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Met complimenten van de Razoer wordt u aangeboden het nieuws.
Maandag 9 september, ik ben Luciane Vrij.